there are 195 nations on Earth. In 55, many do not have the right to a fair trial. In 128, freedom of expression is restricted. In 141, people are tortured. And in 118, there is human trafficking. In a world where men, women, and children are denied their dignity and refused their fundamental freedoms, how can human rights be guaranteed? There is a group working to restore personal liberty for all. Youth for Human Rights, tirelessly advancing equal rights for all humankind. Active in over 195 countries and territories, United for Human Rights is an international nonprofit organization dedicated to bringing about broad-scale awareness of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This historic document, adopted by the United Nations in 1948, sets forth the standard of universal freedoms to which every individual on Earth is entitled. To that end, Youth for Human Rights assists and unites individuals, organizations, and governmental bodies in adoption of the UN Declaration at local, national, and international levels. It all begins at a grassroots level with petition drives and distribution of informational booklets to raise public awareness. Youth for Human Rights volunteers conduct petition drives across the United States, from Los Angeles to the Las Vegas Strip, and from Austin, Texas to New York City. In Canada, in Montreal and Toronto, and to the south in Mexico City's Zocalo Square. In Europe, they work from Paris to Budapest, Rome, and London, more than 100 cities worldwide. Tally it all, and they've gathered more than 500,000 signatures across more than 170 nations, calling for mandatory human rights education for all. Then, Youth for Human Rights ensures those voices are heard. Case in point, at the UN's Human Rights Headquarters in Geneva, the voices of tomorrow's leaders are given a forum at the International Youth for Human Rights Summit. Young delegates from 42 nations speak out for human rights and set the pace by signing the global petition for human rights education, encouraging officials from 50 nations to join in. And so it ripples outward into such lands as Bangladesh. Here, a national chapter of Youth for Human Rights takes on human exploitation in a country known for its sweatshops. It presented young factory workers with petitions bearing the slogan, "Empowering citizens will finally empower the nation." Whereupon a National Human Rights Commission of Bangladesh partnered with Youth for Human Rights to protect the welfare of human beings. In Denmark, the Youth for Human Rights branch takes on rampant discrimination against foreign communities, comprising 10% of the population. Linking with every like-minded humanitarian organization, plus every minority organization, Youth for Human Rights became an official voice of the Danish Human Rights Council. Then there is Guatemala, where the United for Human Rights curriculum rolled out to some 22,000 Guatemalan soldiers. From the National Naval Academy to the Security Army Brigade and the Ministry of Defense and Guatemalan Army Command. All culminating in a permanent partnership to implement United for Human Rights on behalf of more than 1.5 million people. To further expand human rights awareness, Youth for Human Rights produced public service announcements illustrating all 30 articles of the Universal Declaration and expressly created to fuel popular involvement. The PSAs have now played in every conceivable public venue, on Argentinian trains, at Cape Town International Airport, an Athens soccer coach convention, St. Petersburg shopping malls, Budapest cinemas, Lausanne metros, and a Tokyo train station. Not to mention television airplay with Youth for Human Rights public service announcements seen on TV stations in over 120 countries. Then there is the educational The Story of Human Rights. It's designed to open the door to human rights education on all fronts and align all groups worldwide. The film is the centerpiece of both the United for Human Rights and Youth for Human Rights educational programs. Bringing Human Rights to Life, a post-secondary education curriculum, further includes an educator's guide with fact sheets on human rights abuse zones, model petitions, and advocacy guidelines detailing exactly how to make one's voice heard. There is also an education package designed specifically for grade schools and middle schools as part of the Youth for Human Rights program. It similarly provides an educator's guide with lesson plans for younger students, as well as all 30 PSAs and educational booklets. While to educate the rest of the world, there is the interactive online Youth for Human Rights Center. Here, visitors can watch all the PSAs and film, order educational materials, sign the Human Rights Petition, and connect up with advocacy and human rights resources. And all of it to unify people worldwide for Universal Declaration enforcement. Combine it all, and hundreds of organizations and governments have joined forces with Youth for Human Rights, helping inform tens of millions of their human rights. Nothing is more precious than the inalienable rights of man. You can defend and insist on human rights in your area. Implement human rights education. Hold a petition drive. Join a human rights organization or start a group dedicated to the cause. United, we are a powerful voice for freedom, making human rights an everyday reality for all humankind.